everyone. So in this we are going to cover few fields from this secondary field section. So in the previous video we had covered all the primary fields. So now let's start with secondary fields. So in this video we will cover a few fields which are mentioned in the secondary fields section, and in the upcoming videos we will cover the later. So let's begin with the protected field component. So if I drag and drop here, so from the name itself, the protected field is something like we use in case like where we want to uh, show a password. Not show, I mean to say, but like where the requirement is to enter the password. So there we uh, use this protected field. So let me just add a label here. So if you see the look and feel or the UI of this component, it is again the similar one. I have explained already the tooltip, placeholder text, and the other things. So those are pretty similar. You can just go through this. Nothing is different in this case. So again, like protected field is something the ID, which is by default added by Unqork, and these are few things like label and placeholder text I have added. Preview. So what you will observe is that it load. Okay, let me just characters, be it number or the alphabets. It is putting that password mask, right, which is something we use on the form or login screen, sign up screen. That password field or protected field from the module, and here now we can see the other fields and it is working fine now. Okay, so let's go to the next field from the secondary component. Let me just close this, open this secondary field section. Okay, so let's go with the email one. So as name suggests, it is again pretty straightforward. So if you see here, the property ID is defaulted. Here we can write the email as label. And again, the other things are pretty similar to the other components. This minimum length and max length. So you can just try it from your side how this works. And also like here we can put our customized regular expression. So if we want to add our customized regular expression, so in Unqork it is default there where the email regular expression is by default added, but apart from that if you want to add some customized one, there you can add that regular expression pattern here. And again, if that regular expression pattern whatever we have put here doesn't match, so we want to show that error message, here we can put that error message over here. So again, the other things are pretty simple in this case. So let me save and close, and let me just quickly save and preview this thing. So I'm refreshing the other module. Okay, so here if you see, I'm entering some random text. It is by default giving me this error message that it should be a valid because we have selected a email component over here. So if I try to match it with something like email thing, so maybe test@test.com. So this regular expression or this pattern is something for email. So that is why this is considered valid and we don't get that error message. So this was about the email field. Now let's go to the next component, which is phone number component. So I will just drag the phone number component here. So these fields are pretty self-explanatory. So again, here this is something used to capture the phone number, and here few other fields we can see are like input mask and mask error message. So here if you just put it here, so this is the input mask. So whatever the number we will write, it would be masked into this pattern like 3 digits and then the parenthesis followed by again 3 characters and then hyphen. So this is what this input mask would work like. So if you want to add some other input mask over here, so you can just google those different patterns or maybe the input mask for phone number, and that you can put here. So let me just save this and show you how it works. Let me save this, refresh the preview module. Yeah, so here if you see that input mask was there, right? So that is written over here. So whatever number I'm writing, it is getting masked to that pattern, whatever we have selected. Again, the other things are also there which were already present in the previous components that we had already seen. You can just go through that, which is like minimum length, max length, and so on. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is international phone number. This is also pretty similar to the phone number. I mean, the usage of it. We are going to uh, capture here the phone number only, but it is something international phone number where we have some additional uh, features that we can configure here. So let's, for example, uh, okay, let me just show you once. Like if I just add this phone number and let me just add the label here and save this, so you can see that how it will look, and then maybe I can go through the other pieces, other features of it, how it works when we tweak those. So if I add here, it will put it here, right? The error message is different. Okay, and we can add the number here, and again according to the configuration that is done in the component, it will throw an error. So this is the valid pattern and it is working fine now. We are not getting that error message. But here if I select some other country, maybe let's take Afghanistan and save and close. So here we will be able to enter the number which is valid for Afghanistan, right? So if I add the number here, it is giving me an invalid number. It is asking me to enter a valid phone number. So here I'm entering those phone numbers. So the pattern or maybe the code of that country should be matched, then only that error message will go. So accordingly, we don't need to configure different logic from our end to support the numbers of different countries. So here we can change or select whatever the country we want, and accordingly the pattern or the number which is acceptable in that country it will render, and accordingly it will show the error messages. So let's try one more country. Maybe let's take India. I'm just looking into it. If it is here, it should be okay. If I take India here, save. Okay, so here if you can see, we this is the valid number or the format of India's phone number, right? So that is why it is automatically getting uh, translated into that pattern. Okay, so this is the facility which is provided by international phone number component. This component are not that much useful in case of like, it depends on the requirement, but yeah, from my experience these are not something we use in most of the projects, but yeah, it is good to know these things. So if there is a requirement of using such fields, we can always use such component. And other things also like fixed line or mobile. So this can be considered as landline and this can be considered as mobile number for the specific country, and accordingly the pattern will render it on the screen. And rest other things, so if we don't want to validate that number whatever we are entering, we can just toggle off these things. And if we want to add any customized error message on invalid number, then this is something which is again we had already seen in the previous components, so nothing different for this component as well. Okay, so that's it from this video. So we have covered uh, 4 components from the secondary fields. So yeah, the other things, button and hidden signature, address, search, so those things we will cover in the upcoming video. Thank you. See you in the next video.